Hello there, viewers of High Television. Good morning to you all. You are welcome to the Thursday's edition of the program Press Brief of this Thursday, the 17th day of October 2024. On this program, we bring to you the newspapers as reported, the news as reported by the newspapers. We will be back to give you what they are saying, though have a ride with us. Once again, you're heartily welcome to the program. We start off with this first paper, that is Municipal Updates. Municipal Updates of Victor Cham for this morning have as lead story: Nigeria joins efforts to rescue kidnapped Idabatu Dio. That is what you can find on Municipal Updates for today. At midterm session, Womb Council sizes up achievements, challenges. And after workers' protest, CDC General Manager announces imminent arrears payment. That is the story you can find on that set paper of Municipal Update. 71% of Cameroonians have access to electricity according to the World Bank report. And from that paper of Municipal Updates, we write on to the median. The median of Stephen Ojong for this morning says regime die hard. It talks of Paul Atsanganji, Bias Heinrich Hemmel. That is a question that paper is asking for today. Cameroon Bar Association barrister Eric Ice the second mandate as president of the Cameroon Bar Association. That is the story you can find on page 6 of that paper for today. Media talk on Paul Bia's health, popular backlash against Paul Atsanganji's ban. And we move forward with this other story: hospitals in Cameroon, challenges of blood transfusion services. You can find details on page 2 of that paper for today. And the paper talks of peacekeeping mission to the Central African Republic. MINUSCA 10 Cameroonian contingent welcome home by the minister delegates at the presidency in charge of defense, Joseph Betty Atsomo. The Horizon newspaper for this morning says fight against HIV and AIDS spread in schools. Chantal Bia's social vaccine program. ICT Varsity signs MOU. Business opportunities in the Central African sub-region. The paper talks of African Development Bank drills SMEs on how to win competitive contracts. And taking you to this other story, it says Honorable Venla Lokong assists underprivileged children in her constituency. Le Messager of late Piyush Njawe from Douala talks of Somdia and Cadiz. It says the Celestine Tawamba empire that keeps on growing from strength to strength. You can find more on the international business magnate who hails from the western region of Cameroon, Celestine Tawamba. Moving on to this one of the Kasba commandment, it says the heritage in lost. Get read details on that paper of Le Messager. Quotidien Economy for this morning talks of investment. Celestine Tawamba takes Mullins to Somdia and Cameroon and Congo. Get to read more on that said paper for today. The city mayor of Yaoundé, that is Luke Messi Atanganang, talks of the priority projects earmarked for 2025 to be executed in the city of Yaoundé. Get to read details on that paper on Quotidien Economy. And in that said Quotidien Economy newspaper, electricity supply talks of a new to put in 73 billion CFA francs into the electricity supply chain in Cameroon. Conjuncture Economy will remain with the economic newspapers. Conjuncture Economy for today talks of the production of wheat. It says the Cadiz Group, leader in the Central African sub-region in wheat production, a company owned by Cameroonian-born Celestine Tawamba, takes the command. Get to read more. That's a paper for today. But 2025-2027 budget, it talks of projections of 1,839 billion CFA francs that has been earmarked for the public for the public works sector. And Kelly Moa Kingsley is the new board chair of African Development Insurance and Investment Trade and Investment Company. You can find more on that set paper for today. Info Martin talks of Paul Eric Chinje. It says an Anglophone needs to take part in Cameroon. That was the pronouncement of Eric Chinje during a television program in Yaoundé last night, and you can find details on that story on page 3. Crossing on to Cameroon Tribune for this day says violence, hate speech among youth, talks of proceeding against the scourge. Get to read more. That's it. Paper for today. The economic program for Cameroon and the International Monetary Fund of the IMF, it says there are good advancing of both entities. This follows a high delegation of IMF who was receiving audience yesterday at the Star Building by the Prime Minister, head of government, Joseph John Gutte. The 10 contingent of Cameroonian Keeping Force MINUSCA to the Central African Republic received a hero's welcome by the minister delegate at the presidency in charge of defense, Joseph Beti Asomo. Crossing over to next door Luju of Haman Manor, it talks of author's right. Vivian, the track that is quite divisive are on who is the author or who to get author's right of that set hit track of Prince Eme after Ivorian artist Debodo announced an eminent collaboration or remix of the song with financial attachment worth millions of CFA francs. 2025, he talks AFCON 2025. He says 8 African countries has qualified for the biggest football jamboree in Morocco as for next year. We now move on to quotidian emergence for today. It talks of hospitals in Cameroon. It says the question of the availability of blood banks in hospitals. You can find it on asset paper for today. The fishery sector, the ambition of Cameroon in 2025 to boost her fishery industry. And we move forward with this other one that talks of 3 individuals has been arrested in Yaoundé, whereby they were in possession of human bones as they went and dug up graves and took the bones for a dangerous substance that is mostly consumed by some young persons in Cameroon. Nouvelle Horizon for today. Nouvelle Horizon report on local development priority as the Minister of Decentralization and Local Development, Georges Elanga Oban, insists on that. Taking you to the warning of the Minister of Post and Telecommunication to the different telecommunication companies on the poor services that they are offering. Minette Libong Lily King says these telecommunication companies need to sit up or face fines that her ministry and other institutions that are affiliated to this sector will be meting on them. Lojapol of Karotamba talks of the quality of roads. It says the African Development Bank engages with Cameroon for greater road construction as one of the high-rank personnel in that said institution was receiving the audience by the Minister of Public Works, Emmanuel Ngano Jumisi. The 10 contingent of the African Peacekeeping Mission, the Cameroonian branch MINUSCA to the Central African Republic, returns home as they receive heroes welcome by the minister delegates at the presidency in charge of defense, Joseph Beti Asomo. National campaign system, it talks of the reinforcement of transparency, efficiency, and competitiveness across the public markets in the country. Moving on to the amelioration of potable water supply in the country, Cam Water upgrades her campaign in order for her subscribers to continue benefiting from quality water supply in the country. Low point for this morning talks of the CNC Passport Connect 2023. Augustin Bape Penda questioned this various institutions' efficiency. Gets read more on that said paper for today. The cocoa sector. It says the cocoa sector and the Ministry of Trade to now save certificates to certain outstanding cocoa institutions that are making the difference. The Actual newspaper for this morning talks of the petroleum industry. It says SNH and the 265.3 billion CFA francs by the state of Cameroon for the first semester of 2024. We'll get to read more on that said paper. For today, the economy talks of the BEAC. It says BEAC, national involvement in banks in the sub-region of Semak. And we now take you to the promotion of Professor Kelly Moa Kingsley, who now presides as the board chair of the HCDI. Get to read details on that set paper of the V12 for today. Moving on to the hot paper, Santé Natio Info for this morning says Cameroon. It talks of the situation of mental health in the country as the world recently commemorated World Mental Health Day some days ago. Guy Matial Chinda, the paper report of a builder of inclusive health in Africa. Moving on to the satiric newspaper of Le Populi now. Le Populi reports of Come Not, Come Not, Come Not. That is the big song on Le Populi, making a satiric reference to the President of the Republic, President Paul Biya, who has been absent from the public eyes 43 days and still counting. Get to read more on the President's absence by Le Populi newspaper for today. Away from that Le Populi story, we cross over to Le Question. Le Question for this morning talks of road infrastructures in Cameroon. 3 billion US dollars are mobilized to fast track construction of roads in the country from 2025 to 2027. Get to read more on that set paper for today. And we now move forward with this other story. This accident in Kombe, in the locality of Sangmilima in the south regions. The Minister of Public Transport, Jean Ernest Masenangale Bibi, he banned the set interurban bus transport service for a duration of a month, and the driver who was involved in that road accident too had his license seized. The International Conference of the Debt Mobilization and Public Resource Management in the country. Get to read this is on that paper of Les Financiers d'Afrique, all the way from Bafoussam for today. We take you to 73% of Cameroonian population now have access to electricity supply since 2023. You can find more on that said paper. Partnership, the African Development Bank and AFD Bank engages for more partnership in the African youth sector in order to invest more in the youth of the continent. And we now move on to the next paper for this morning. Cameroon Insider of Marie Claire reports of rebuilding the far north, southwest, and northwest regions of the country. UNDP supports new resource mobilization efforts. Get to read more on that said paper of Cameroon Insider of Marie Claire for this day. Douala Bafoussam Road rehabilitation works on the way. GCE registration begins October 21 as reported by Cameroon Insider on page 6. And PFL Super Fight, Francis Ngannou re-enters the octagon. And corruption, the two-headed serpent that won't die, according to Cameroon Insider. Get to read that bottom page story of that said paper for today. The Guardian Post of Christian Gar reports of audience with Prime Minister John Guti after 7 review mission of the International Monetary Fund IMF hails Cameroon growth strides public finance management reforms. The editor of the Guardian Post talks of lessons Biya regime should learn from Lions coach back praise. Electricity supply now reaches 71% of Cameroonian population. And abortive ecumenical prayer for Paul Biya come to mocks initiator Andre Eyebe Aisi, Cameroon's Minister of Land Tenure and State Properties. Moving on to the grand opening of the CCA Bank in the nation's economic capital city of Douala, that has been scheduled to take place this Saturday. You can find this of CCA Bank. Mixed story. We move on to Nigerian. The punch for this morning says four price hike rest as federal government labor meets in deadlock. can find more on that said paper of the Punch for today. NNPPLC trail sold Dangote petrol buyer marketers, and Nigerian high interest rates will stay for long, according to the World Bank, who warns on that. PDP may postpone NEC meeting, governors plot Damagos exit as chairman of the main opposition party in Nigeria, the People's Democratic Party (PDP). And the Punch Sport Extra talks of Pace Setter. It talks of Ewabi lead Super Eagles active players with 81 caps at 27. And in that said publication of Punch Sport Extra, Anthony Joshua versus the Boys, it says IBF set for April 2025 rematch deadline. Paris Saint-Germain reignite Rashford's interest, and Lionel Messi backs Martinez for Ballon d'Or. The Metric Sports for this day talks of Thomas Tuchel appointed England's coach that his job will be starting from the 2025 January. You can find more on that said paper for today. Messi's nets that hat-trick as Argentina trash Bolivia 6-0. Daily Independent for this morning says federal government to review for transportation safety protocols across states of Nigeria. Federal government NNPC TUC holds a marathon meeting over fuel price hike in the West African nation of Nigeria. And Abakumba writes to National Assembly, says EFCC is an unlawful organization after the said organization that is in charge of fighting crimes and corruption has found herself in corruption scandal and all manner of mishaps that was not something that ought to be of that body. Blueprints for this day talks of reports of impeachment against Nigerian Speaker of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio. You can find what he titles that as fake. You can find more on Blueprints for today. Jigawa tanker tragedy talks of 105 bodies given mass burial, over 70 hospitalized in this tank explosion in Jigawa state of north central Nigeria. The Guardian for this day says opposition in disarray as internal crisis batter PDP, Labour, and NPP. Get to read more on that said paper. Senate props impeachment rumor as presidency declares no leadership vacuum. 40 CSOs seek dismissals of governor's suit against EFCC and FIU. Get to read more on the Guardian for this day. New Telegraph for this morning says hardship reverse for cooking gas price hike now. Reps tells federal government. In that sense, New Telegraph, the paper says AFCON qualifiers fiasco. It's a lie. We won't apologize to Libya. Federal government declares 105 burnt to death victims get mass burial while 50 injured takes to the hospital in Jigawa state of that nation of Nigeria. We move forward with leadership. Leadership have a similar caption. It says Jigawa tank explosion, 109 victims given mass burial, 54 hospitalized, and impeachment threat against Godswill Akpabio to unseat lawmakers, and no leadership vacuum as Tinubu's Shetima travels abroad. Presidency tells that paper. Nigerian Tribune for this day, the state prince of Nigeria talks of Jigawa petrol tank explosion, over 100 deaths, more than 50 in hospital, and federal government meets NLC TUC over fuel price hike. And it's fake news. Akpabio debunk impeachment rumor. We move on to reps want a reversal of cost of petrol and cooking gas all across Nigeria. Business Day talks of Nigerian tap OP PalmPay mean point admits banks IT glitch. And we take you to SMEs face delivery pains as cost doubles. And with that paper for today of business day was the last newspaper. Business day was the last newspaper on this program. We thank you so much for the privilege of your company, and we urge you to take a set appointment for tomorrow, Friday. That's gonna be the 18th day of October. As for me and the entire crew, we are wishing you a blessed day in the company of High Television. Good day.